Right, everything should be working as intended. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and Xenos of all ages, and welcome to another Tactica Imperialis live stream. I'm aware, new setup, I'm back home in England now, I've left France, that's all done. So, different sound, different everything. I'm aware it's going to sound weird. If I'm quiet, let me know, I'll turn my volume up. But if there is more echo or less echo, it's probably more echo because we're in a much larger room. I do apologise for that, just because the room I'm recording is like really cramped right now, and it just would not work for streaming. So come down into my living room to stream here, and we're going to do that. So we've got a few things to talk about. Obviously, the elephant in the room, Age of Sigmar 2 has come out since my last stream. So now I'm back home. I have this. And I have this. And I have this. So we have plenty to talk about on that front. We can talk about some gameplay stuff because I've played 5 games. I've played 5 games of AoS 2 now. 3 proper games and 2 other games. So I've got a fair bit to talk about that, and I'm going to talk the lore because while I haven't read all of it yet, I haven't had a chance. There's plenty of lore there to talk about. And of course, yeah, there's just so much here. Plus, today has actually been a really good day for 40k, because 40k has received a new expansion / standalone game, that being Kill Team. Kill Team is back into Warhammer 40,000, and hopefully it's going to do better than its last iteration or two. So we can go through that reveal, we can go through the Age of Sigmar Open Day reveals, and all of that good stuff. Look at what's coming out this week in pre-orders, what will be coming out next week, because we've seen those pre-orders as well. There's nothing really straight hobby objective, straight like AoS 40k muchness coming out, but we can talk about that as well. I'm feeling fine. Yeah, for those who don't know, I missed my upload on Monday because I had a big back injury. Well, I say big. I had a back injury on my way home from France. Basically, I was carrying too much, and my back's always been a bit finicky from time to time, so it basically just had a big back spasm at Lyon airport. So I was out of commission for a couple of days just recovering from that. So I didn't get a chance to come home when I intended to on the Saturday, play AoS 2 immediately and have a video for the Monday. I didn't get home until the Sunday afternoon, so it was a little bit late for me to get a video ready. However, I'm making up for that, as I said on Twitter earlier. I am doing a double upload next week. Yes, a double upload. I'm going to turn that way just so I can press my a little bit clear. We're having a double upload. So I'll be uploading my first proper battle report on Monday, and then a very special battle report on Tuesday. One of my favourite games to play. It took us hours and hours and hours to do, but it was such a fun game. So I'm really glad that we're going to show you that. Yeah, I do feel better. If I was still in a lot of pain, I won't be able to sit and stream for a couple of hours, what I'm planning to do tonight. So the fact that I'm able to do this bodes well for how I'm feeling. No, most importantly, it's coming home. That's most important. The new TTS was amazing. I actually watched that yesterday. I watched TTS and it was amazing. I have to comment for Alpha, and everyone involved did a fantastic job. But more importantly, it's coming home. You know, football's coming home. Come on, who's with me? Who's with me? That black coach model in White Dwarf looked different, and it's new. There is a new black coach model. I don't know how it compares to like White Dwarf. So I haven't got White Dwarf. So how it compares in White Dwarf to the reveal trailer to the reveal post that we got in the AoS Open Day. I can't compare them all. I'm not really an expert. I haven't seen White Dwarf. Is there anything else? My day was fine. I got caught up in the issues with signalling services on the trains, which really made getting around today a bit fun. Let's go and do some shopping. So getting a train was not fun, and say that much. It was only part 1, but it was absolutely awesome. And yes, 2 more. Alpha did say 2 more. We did it on the podcast, so I'm aware roughly how it goes. Have you thought this the endless spells? We found the endless spells to be quite, dare I say it, underpowered? I don't know. Maybe it's just because we weren't going all out on them, but we found the endless spells, at least the damage ones. So we've used the Gravetide, the Ravenak, the Quicksilver Swords, the Ether Void Pendulum. Have we used any of the others? I don't think we've cast any of the others, or at least I haven't seen them cast. I think we cast the Shackles were cast in a game I wasn't playing, but I didn't see that. So I found them to be quite underwhelming. They don't do loads, but I'm aware there's some really powerful things you can do with them. The cogs are exceptionally powerful. The Palisade could be very powerful, and there is some other fun stuff that you can do with them. The Pendulum obviously is powerful, and if you roll well, the Purple Sun is insane. So we'll have to wait and see and do proper full-on malign sorcery games before we get a proper gauge on them. But they haven't done loads in the games I've played, but then we weren't min-maxing around using them, so it's hard to say. I'm not going to talk about the podcast. We're recording it tomorrow. It'll be coming out on the channel on Wednesday, so you've got a triple upload, 3 days straight from me. So you can look forward to having 4 videos next week. Battle Report, podcast, and 40k Stories, which I do need to finish recording. I'm a little bit behind on 40k Stories, getting ahead of that. But that should all be fine. I don't really want to talk about who's going to be on the podcast because it would give too much away. But I can confirm we have booked up several guests, many of whom were requested for the podcast. I'm not naming names. Feels like they're well balanced, thought they'd be insane, but now they're just fun. Yeah, they're definitely not insane. I think in the right hands, some of the spells can be insane, cough cogs, but I don't know about all of them. No. I mean, we're recording it tomorrow. Like, this time tomorrow we'll have recorded it. So, yeah. It's just, sorry, not going to do that because this is actually someone you wouldn't expect. So I don't want to give too much away because it's someone you really would not expect to be on the podcast unless you were thinking very sideways. Okay, I'll say that. It's someone you wouldn't expect. So we'll go with that and then we'll leave off. I won't guess, I won't tease anymore. Well, they're not really anti-Slanesh swords, they're anti-Chaos swords. They were forged by a Smith of Order to try and kill Chaos, and then possessed by her as a sort of thing. I have not had the chance to test the Life Swarm. Looking at its War Scroll card, it's not bonkers. It's good, but it's not utterly bonkers. So, I don't think it's too bad. But I haven't used it and I haven't really faced off against it, so I can't say. Looking forward to seeing some new Slaneshi models. Yeah, we saw one teased in the Rumor Engine. While it looks so much like a Demon Nettle Keeper of Secrets Claw, it kind of couldn't be anything else. So we know Slanesh will be coming soon enough, and I am looking forward to see what they do with Slanesh, because with Fulgrim coming as well, it'll be interesting what direction they take Slanesh in. Do they stick to the classic designs and just add some new stuff or update old models? Or do they do a Dark Eldar, redesign the whole range, and change the image of Slanesh quite a lot? I don't know what they're going to do. We'll see. I think we all need some anti-Slanesh in our lives. Well, that's your opinion. Told you, not giving anything away. We saw the Genestealer sword separately. That was something else. The Genestealer sword was something entirely separate, though we did see that. So, yes, but not for what you're thinking of in the Rumor Engine. Different thing. Yeah, sure. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, and with coming back to the endless spells, it's going to be very interesting. Used it once, its effect was stolen by the enemy twice, but my Exalted Great Unclean One saw ability was greatly improved by its abilities. Well, when I fought a Great Unclean One, it was regenerating 2d3 wounds a turn already, so it kind of didn't need it, but fair enough. From Buenos Aires, You haven't really missed anything, in all truth. I've just been sat here talking to people. It's not really done anything yet. I'm fine. I'm not particularly injured now. I'm pretty much 100% that I'm going to go to my GP and just make sure it's all fine. Just get some advice on it. If they think they need to give it a scan, then they will. But a couple of good nights sleep and a little bit of painkillers has cleared me up. Yeah, so we'll see. 7 degrees C. That's spring weather in England, so unlucky. Is Zegran going to be guest in the coming future, yes or no? I can't make any promises. Rem knows him, I don't particularly know him, so that's up to Remless if he decides to book him and if Zegran is available. So I can't really answer that because I don't know. Could justify the change of interest in the Chaos God being thought of as differently, seeing how much the galaxy has changed. Yes, and in the mortal realms as well. Slaanesh has been hidden for so long that his followers might... I mean, Slaanesh is already fractured in AoS. There's 3 different groups. So you could do something, perhaps. It was just a... It wasn't anything major, I suppose. It was just like a back spasm. It's really annoying because you can't really walk. Or you can't walk properly at the very least because your back's in so much pain. And you can't walk straight. You're supposed to be stood up straight, but it wants to put you on the floor. And it was just really bad timing because I was in the middle of Lyon Airport and on a plane at the time. So it was just like, could you be any worse timed? But hey, I've got over it now. It's fine. I'm back on the grind. It's all good. So, no worries. So, do people just want to talk about AoS 2 stuff? I want to do the kill team reveal because I've only sort of skim-read the kill team article. So, I could do that. I'm quite happy to talk about kills, and I want to do that at some point in the stream. If you would rather start talking with AoS 2, like how things have changed, people ask questions or get my opinion on something, by all means do that. Bear in mind my gameplay experience is not up here, but yeah. Feel free to just take it in a direction. No, I'm not Remlaze 2.0, that's for sure. I mean, yeah, I'll never be anywhere near Remlaze either in terms of back problems or YouTuber skill. Just the way it is. We'll think about Barak. Again, I make no promises, I give nothing away. So, yeah. 38. Oof. England's been sat in like the low 20s quite a lot. So sort of like 20 to 23, something like that. Yeah. So it all varies on like some places in London and stuff like that have been down in up in the 30s, so the very low 30s. But most of England's sort of been sat around the 20 to 25 mark, which is aggravatingly hot. You can't do a lot. It is very, very hot. But you can survive at it. Which is something. You can survive it, which is all good. What do I want to do? Do you want to do kill team? Do we want to do AoS 2? Is there something else we want to talk about? 38C. Oof. Yeah, that's just unpleasant. That is really unpleasant. It's like only London, and I think there's a bit of the edge of Wales that got up there, like Porthmadog, which is spelled Porthmadog. Porthmadog is basically was at 31. That was at the highest point. Yeah, good luck to Belgium. You've got to get through Brazil, then probably France, and then hopefully England if you want to win it. So we'll see how you go. What's your opinion on the Shadespire warbands? I love the models. I do. I really love the models, but I wouldn't use them in game. Like, to take the Stormcast, for example. As soon as I find them. So for Stormcast, the Fast Riders is 3 Vanguard Raptors for 100 points. And Steel Hearts Champions is 3 Liberators for 100 points. Whereas Vanguard Hunters are normally 120 for 5. And Liberators are 100 for 5. So you're getting 2 less Liberators for the same cost. And maybe 1 or 2 extra abilities. Yeah, it's kind of weird like that. AoS Slanesh was trapped by the gods of the Elven Pantheon, yes. And the rest of their demon army was fighting to become Slanesh. No. Slanesh is very, very weird. Slanesh is like splintered, at least in terms of gameplay. Slanesh has splintered massively. So allow me to explain that for you. As soon as I find their allegiance abilities. Wanderers, Brayherd, Slanesh. So the traits for Slanesh is called the Host. This is their sort of allegiance ability, if you like. So the disappearance of Slanesh has divided its followers into several factions, each with their own goals and methods of fighting. So the Pretenders are the ones that sort of want to become the new Slanesh. The Seekers are those who wish to find the original Slanesh. And the Invaders are something else again. I can't quite remember what it is. I'm not going to go digging through the core book to find it now. But you pick which of the hosts of Slanesh you belong to. And you get a different allegiance ability. So you either get more buffs on your general, or you get more horde buffs, or you get more speed, or you get more generals. So it's kind of like that. Not Belgian, Dutch. Yep, fair enough. What name demons are image faction? Yeah, that would be interesting. Like where does the mask fall? Yeah, it's just the mask at this point. I think Slanesh has only got the mask at the moment, but when the named ones come out, I'll be interested to see if each of the hosts gains a keyword. So you'll get each of the named heroes has a keyword. Pretenders, Invaders, Seekers. I'll be very interested to see if they do that. I quite like that, though in order to keep everyone having access to the named characters, I don't think they will do that. But they could. They absolutely could, and I think that would be a really cool change. I hope that answered your question about Slanesh as well, because Slanesh is definitely an interesting one. Right, I don't have any mods here tonight, so we're just gonna... Excuse me a minute. Not having that crap. Not having it. Definitely play Seekers is more speed. Yeah, so I'll run them through for you. I don't think they've changed much apart from just like how they work in terms of command abilities. So how they broadly function is as follows. So take right here, Slanesh. So if you play the Pretenders, your general gets 2 command traits rather than 1, which is pretty nice, I have to say. You don't have any command traits here. You'd have to use a command traits, unless they've got another page. Oh no, they have their own page. Sorry, second page for Slanesh. So you get 2 of these. So you can get more bravery if you kill more stuff, more piling, healing, more casting, harder to hit, or make more units run away. Alright, it's going to be one of those nights, is it? Apparently it is going to be one of those nights. Don't like it? See, this is the risk I take putting the chat up on the screen, because I put the chat up and some people will just abuse it like morons and just like flip with it. So, fine. Alright, I'm just going to take the chat on the screen. You can insult me all you like. So, go ahead. But the chat's not going to be on the screen, so nobody's going to see it. Carry on. So as I was saying, your general can have 2 different command traits in Pretenders, and on top of that, you reroll hit rolls of 1 for melee and missile weapons, so it's pretty damn good if you have 10 or more models in a unit. So this is an army that works on hordes with powerful generals. So lots of demonettes, or lots of... What's the mortal equivalent of demonettes? I don't think they kind of have them, do they? I don't know what you'd use, like how... I don't know how chaos works. in terms of allegiance abilities and stuff. I don't know how it works, so somebody feel free to fill me in here. Host of Slash. So yeah, your biggest horde unit, you just take lots of Hellstriders, lots of Demonettes, lots of Seekers, big units of that. That's how you do it, and I think that's how a Pretender's army would work. A Seeker's army gets +1 move and charge for all models. However, if you have 10 or more original move, then you actually get +2 to that. So all your stuff is basically going to be that move 7 or move about 14. It's very, 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 very fast. In addition, however, you must charge if you're in range to charge. So it's not a case of you're just faster, you're faster, but you must charge. So Seekers actually is the one that comes with a drawback, which is problematic for you. So you don't get all buffs, you do have 1 mana draw, but you're playing Slaanesh, you're probably going to want to get into melee anyway, just you might not have a choice in the matter. Finally, you have Invaders, which is a really, really fun idea. So in Invaders, how it works is you get 3 generals. So each of your command abilities says within range of a general. Now you have 3 loci for that, which is really, really good. You only get 1 command trait, but you get 3 sets of generals for command abilities. So other command abilities are like, if this model is your general, they can do this. You can have more of that model in your army because you have 3 generals. However, if they're within 12 inches of each other, their command traits and command ability auras are cancelled out. So you have to spread them out, otherwise they cancel out these buffs that you're getting. So you get more power off your generals and your characters, but they can be nullified by each other. So you have to play carefully with your deployment. You get pulled around too much, you don't get your abilities. Canny opponents can punish you for that. So that's how Slaanesh broadly functions. So Pretenders is actually the straight up most powerful because it's all buffs, no drawbacks at all. Seekers is faster move but you must charge, and Invaders are more general abilities but you can get them nullified by bad deployment and bad movement. I don't know how Mark of Chaos works. This is the thing. I just don't get it because I've never played Chaos. What counts as a Slaanesh army? Is it units from Host of Slaanesh, or is it Slaves to Darkness, Host of Slaanesh, as long as they all have 1 keyword? I don't know. Somebody feel free to fill me in. It does count. Okay, so you can use Marauders in a Pretender's army then to help yourself get going. So you can have a Chaos Sorcerer on foot, a dude on a Seeker hero, and somebody else, like the Mask or something. That also means you can make named characters a general and not be punished for it if you're playing Invaders, because a lot of times you don't want named characters to be your general because they can't have a command trait. They have their command abilities, but their command traits are not allowed to happen because they're unique. But if they have a really good command ability that says if this model is your general, it can still be your general without taking up the command trait. So that's kind of useful. Keep that in mind as well. Yeah, Slaanesh might be interesting, and I hope when Slaanesh gets redone that they're brought into line with Nurgle, Tzeentch and Khorne, and that Chaos' full pantheon can really go. Because obviously I don't want them to be like full-on Nurgle and Tzeentch tier, because Nurgle and Tzeentch can really, really go. But if they get up to Khorne's level at least, or maybe at least to a standpoint where they can keep up and compete, be a mid to upper tier, get into the higher ranks of tournaments with good play, that's where I want Slaanesh to be, and I hope they get enough of a model range to allow them to do that. So they get their own mortal infantry, kind of like Blood Warriors and Zangors and Blight Kings, and you can also add in some unique named Great Demon, obviously. You've got the Mask already, but you can add in another named character, because Nurgle has 2 in Horticus and Epidemius, so why not? We'll see. The Walk... Oh, the Dark Oath. Ah, Dark Oath doesn't have it. Right, that's interesting. I think that she's locked to Slaves to Darkness is supposed to kind of be neutral. But then again, Marika Bloodsky was Cornate, wasn't she? Hard to know. Hard to know, I would say. Is there any other faction people want clarifying, by the way? Because I've got the handbook here. I can run through anything that you need me to go through. Or you can just do lore, and I say, I can dump to kill team at any point. So, the Dark Earth War Queen, the War Chieftain, and the Soul Grinder lack the marks. That's interesting. Sigvald, let me check. Slaves to Darkness. There's nobody by that name in Slaves to Darkness. And in Host of Slaanesh, Demonettes, there is a Chaos Lord of Slaanesh, so you'd use Sigvald for that, I think. Herald, Lord on Demonic Mount, Mask, Keeper of Secrets, Seeker Chariots, Exalted, Fiends, Hellflayers, Hellstriders, Seeker Chariots, and Seekers. Soulgrinder has an ability that gives it a mark. Okay, I see. I can't do that so much because it blocks the screen. Any hopes for a new faction apart from Elves? I'd like to see them do something with Destruction. Obviously, I don't know the lore well enough, and they haven't really fleshed it out well enough. But I'd like to see a proper Goblin faction brought into the game and a proper Ogre faction brought into the game. So that would do me. For Death, I think they're all right now because they've got rolled a lot into Legions, and then there's Nighthaunt separately. Soulblight can run separately and stuff. So we might see a Soulblight book later, but they're not new. In Order, are they listening to do something with Dwarves now? No. Elves have got 2, Dwarves have got 2. Yeah, let's do something with Humans. I think it's time for Humans to get the next push for Order. Because the Stormcast have had plenty. Elves have 2 now. Duardin have 2 now. We've got Sylvaneth, we've got Seraphon. I'd give Humans a push. So either go Free Peoples or add something entirely new. But I think Free Peoples is probably the best place to start. Just get Free Peoples properly fleshed out, built up, ready to go. Boom, wallop. Proper army. And as I say, in Destruction, I think a Goblin faction and an Ogre faction. And in Chaos, let's do something with Skaven. Because Slaanesh is coming, so let's do something with Skaven. I'll check the AoS app for you. Double check that on Soul Grinders. If you haven't got the AoS app, by the way, it's had a complete overhaul and it looks actually quite alright. I'm still getting my head around it, but it generally seems fine. Yeah, you can. Soul Grinder has an ability, Demon Engine of the Dark Gods. So when setting it up, you can pick one of the following keywords to apply to it for the duration of the battle, which is Khorne, Zine, Schnurgle, or Slaanesh. So yes, it has a keyword that allows it to give itself a godly keyword. Way of doing things, actually. However, yeah, all that's locked away. Okay, that's an interesting way of doing it. I haven't really had a problem. I haven't had a look through the AoS app at all, so I had no idea how it worked, in all truth. Hey. So is there anything people want to talk about particularly next, or do you want me to jump over to Kill Team? Like I said, I will do Kill Team. It's in the title of the stream if you're looking for Kill Team. Yeah. Soul Grinder is quite good. I faced one all the way back in the AoS 1 days. So like pre-General's Handbook days, I faced a Soul Grinder. And it basically collapsed a flank, but there wasn't much on that flank, so I sort of let it do its thing. But I think it's in this era it's probably quite killable, but it's still pretty good, I will say. Britannia and Tomb Kings have matched play rules apparently. No. No. They don't have match play points. They might have war scrolls, but they certainly ain't got points. So, sorry. It's not in here. Number of buffs you can take. Ah, fair enough. Fine. Yeah, we're just gonna leave the chat off the screen. Put it up, someone acts like an asshole. Fine. Just gonna leave that off. So as people were saying in the chat replay, just yeah, sorry. Whatever. Whatever. The app has them. Okay. Okay, you've got my attention. I'll humour you. Let's just scroll down through what. So does a war scroll come with its match play points? No, it doesn't. They are still in the app, I can confirm. Britannia is still in the app. But as for giving it points... Oh, I need to select my... I can't select my Legion's ability. Ah, that's how it's done. Just put 3 units in there because we can. Done. Show profiles. Oh! You are correct. You are correct. So I just added, I don't know how you see this, but I just added 3 Britannian units to my battle, and they have points. So Battle Pilgrims, 80 points for 6, I assume. A Damsel 100 and Enchantress 160. Okay then. That I wasn't expecting. Let's clear everything. Now let's do the same thing with Tomb Kings. Let's have a Casket of Souls, a Necro Sphinx, some Skeletal Legionnaires, and some Horse Archers. Gone? Yes! Yes! So there's some Tomb Kings ones for you. Right then. Right. Tomb Kings and Britannia are back in matched play. This has to go down as a turn up for the books, doesn't it? Right then. Okay. That's pretty fun. Oh, Google moderator team. Nicely done. Our points for a while. They've not been in handbooks though. So I never thought to check in the app if they had them. So the fact they weren't in the handbook meant I never looked. But now they're in the handbook. It's in the original War Scroll list on the GW Web Store. But who looks there? Unless you know to go there, would you go there? But that to me is new. To me, that's new. Because I was not expecting them to have points going into this edition. I really did. I thought they were just sat there just waiting to die. So, if they've been back for ages, fair play. But I wasn't aware. So, alright. Like I said, I just didn't know. I'd never seen them before. But, like, why would you go to the web store unless you knew to go to the web store? Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I mean, technically Cetra is kind of dead in that he's now called a Tomb King on Exalted Chariot. But it's Cetra. It is Cetra. And they even have their own unique keyword. So there's a unique keyword for Tomb Kings called Embalmed. Is that for all of them? So Tomb Herald, he does not have Embalmed. A Tomb King does have... Tomb Kings are way more complicated than I thought they were. I had no idea this was a thing. I had no idea. Like, alright, fine, it is a thing, it's been on the web store. But I had no clue this was a thing. This is cool, alright? For someone who had absolutely no clue this was a thing, this is actually kind of cool. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Stomp, stomp, and all that. So the same place Dreadlords, Elven Spear, and had been had their points when their models were no longer available. Right, okay. But yeah, like, unless you knew they were on the web store and were looking on the web store for them, why would you think to go there? They weren't in the app before, they weren't in the handbook before, well, they're still not in the handbook. So you wouldn't think to do that. So that's why like, half of us didn't have a clue about it. So it's still pretty damn cool. They would have to take Death Allegiance to get any Allegiance abilities whatsoever. Because, well, they could be Allegiance Tomb Kings, but they have no Allegiance abilities. So you basically just take your Allegiance to be Death and go from there. Chat is agreeing with me on this. I can't do a skeletal stomp. Well, I guess we get to say Cetra lives just a little bit longer. Kinda. I mean, he is gone, gone, gone. But his model lives as a Tomb King on an Exalted Chariot. Cetra lives. Bone Creek. Great banter. I mean, that's quite a nice up. I wasn't expecting to get that little up, so that's cool. I'll take that. Right. Anyway, we've now had 40 minutes of stream and we've just done some random nattering. So let's do something a little bit more fun and interesting, and let's have a talk about Kill Team. That's what I want to do. That's the title of the stream after all. So let's do some Kill Team, shall we? Most rebellious Mortark ever. Ding. Right, let's get the article up. Bosh. Bish. A bash. And I'm gonna leave chat up for 5 minutes and I'm gonna hope. Where is it stated that Cetra died? Well, he was in the end times. That kind of sums it up. He was in the end times. Yeah, Tomb Kings are safe until they get put into Legends. Tomb Kings are safe until Legends. At that point, rest in pepperoni's Tomb Kings. One less reason to complain. Yeah, he just didn't come back. Like, he was dead anyway, and the Gash and Chaos and he turned his back on them both. No one was going to bring him through. they... oh! When they were put into Legends, they lost their points. Right. Okay, that clears things up. That clears things up. Alright, fair enough. Like I say, I wasn't that up on what happens, like, the stuff in the back end of the game when things started changing, so thank you for the information. When Legends happens, yeah, they're kind of gonna go. But, for now, Two Kings live. Right, kill team, kill team, kill team, kill team, kill team. Let's talk about kill team. Mass battles between scores of units and thundering war machines are great. Yes, I did get the points off the AoS app. Put them into My Battle and they'll show up there. And it also will give you the keywords for them, which will just speed things along for you. Mass battles between scores of units and thundering war machines are great. They are. But there's always been an undeniable appeal to skirmishes, those moment-to-moment struggles where victory rests on the efforts of a mere handful of troops and their individual heroics, when every warrior is a distinct character with their own story. Yep, that's pretty true. That's pretty cool. I do like to homebrew and come up with cool characters, so I agree with that statement. But yes, Kill Team. Over the years, Warhammer fans have enjoyed a range of skirmish games, from past iterations of Kill Team to the recent Shadow War Armageddon, which, let's be honest, Shadow War Armageddon was a little bit of a flop. It was just unsupported after it came out, and it just kinda died. 7th Edition's Kill Team did no better. So hopefully, yeah, this Kill Team does better. I wanted to do better, because 7th Edition's Kill Team, Shadow War Armageddon were both cool concepts, but nobody played them. They were tried out maybe for 1 or 2 games, and then they died. Shadow War was horrendously broken, and it was just... we tried it, and none of us went back to it after our first couple of games. So, that says it all, really. We've taken the best of these systems and combined them to create a brand new gaming experience. This new Kill Team is the stuff we know you love, such as deep squad customization, narrative progression and development, low model counts, and marries it to cutting-edge rules design, bringing in the Shadespire team to ensure the rule set is as tight and balanced as possible. And since Shadespire got beta rules, we can expect that Kill Team will be supported in the same way. It will be supported with more units, more ideas, and just kept being pushed. So hopefully Kill Team is supported in the same way Shadespire has been, because Shadespire, whilst I haven't played it, put out some undoubtedly cool models and was a heck of a lot of fun, I suppose, if you got into it, though I never did. Shadow was great for campaigns, but if you weren't in a campaign, there was no way to really do pickup games. Yeah, that's true. When you try and pick it up, it's kind of meh. So, the head up of the Kill Team Rules project is giving a bit of information. A stand-alone skirmish game set in the world of Warhammer 40,000 focuses on covert ops. Players hand-pick their kill teams of die-hard special operatives to get a specific job done, whether that be recon, sabotage, or assassination. Games are fast-paced with back and forth between players and can include up to 4, so there is multiplayer involved as well. There's something in it for everyone: narrative missions and a campaign. Formats for those who love telling their own stories. Countless challenges for hardcore gamers in matched play, so they have open narrative matched again. And for people new to the hobby, it's a great place to start. Low model count and a generator table to get you going very, very quickly. Pre-orders on the 21st, good to know. Much larger success in the US than the UK. Ah, fair enough. You've just listened to just general chatter. We're doing Kill Team now. No, I'm not too bad. I'm fine. High-octane skirmish battle commanding a handful of elite troops in action-packed squad combat. So, let's see if they've learned a lesson from Shadow War, because in Shadow War, you basically took a unit of dudes and could add some specialists. Your kill team is a squad of elite warriors hand-picked by you of about 5 to 10 models. You construct your team model by model, so it could be 2 Reavers, a missile launcher with tactical marine, a scout with a sniper, and a Primaris sergeant. So it seems like you can build a very, very custom kill team. It's not a case of you have to take these dudes and you get some specialists. You get proper customization over your kill team, which is good. Yes. Once you've assembled your kill team, you can customize them even further with a deep system of specialisms and advancements. These allow you to really distinguish your key troops, creating sharpshooting snipers, fearless combat medics, or vox hacking comm specialists. Kill teams can be used in one-off missions or in campaigns where they have skill trees. Yes, skill trees. It says typically 5 to 10. Typically 5 to 10 is what they say. Doesn't give you a hard cap. We'll have to see in the book if they give a hard cap. So if you do campaigns, you have actual campaign skill trees. It's not just you go through a campaign, you assign some stuff to a dude, whoop-de-doo. You actually properly skill tree it out as you go along, which is really, really cool. So more customization, more specialization. That's really good for making kill team work. I approve. Time to get some Death Watch, I suppose. Possibly. So all those rules, you'll be encouraged to customize and develop the lore and narrative of your kill team with generation tables covering the names and backgrounds of your units, right down to the quirks and demeanors of individual troops. So if you're bad at homebrewing, you don't have to be good at it. You can just use a generator table. Cool. Every kill team will be truly your own. This is as much about creating stories and role-playing opportunities as it is delivering fast-paced strategic action. Alright, so heavy narrative with a side of competition as well. I'm down with that. Kill Team has been designed from the ground up as a brand new gaming experience. If you play 40k, you may be familiar with some of the core principles, but there are several key differences. First off, alternating activations. In some phases, you're taking in turns to use each of your fighters acting and reacting to transform every moment into a tense battle of wit. So it's the you go, I go system of AoS and 40k's combat, but more so. So it'll be possibly alternating turn. So you play a guy, or it will be everybody moves, then you shoot, I shoot, you shoot, I shoot, you shoot, I shoot, then charges, then you fight, you fight, I fight. We'll see how that one goes. We'll see. Yeah, there's potential for just being, again, another campaign thing. I think the core rule set has to hold up as an individual skirmish before you rule it out, though. We'll see. Scion Priestley. TTS jokes. Terrain is core to the kill team experience. The field of battle is known as a kill zone. Lush jungles, chilling manufactorums with challenges and opportunities for your fighters. They'll interact with their surroundings more than ever. You diving from ruin to ruin as they close in, disappearing into hidden tunnels, and taking point in snipers' eyries where they can survey the battlefield. The full faction roster is at the bottom of this article. We'll get to it. Hang on. The board. How dense do you want these boards to be? This is important. Kill teams played by a 22 by 30 board. Now, for context, 64 is a 6 by 4 board. A proper typical game board is 72 by 48. So it's roughly just under a quarter of a board. So it's more than a realm of battle tile, which is 24 by 24. So it's about one realm of battle tile up and a little further than a realm of battle tile long. So that's about the sort of size you're playing on. Tightly packed war zones that will hit perfectly on your coffee table. Yeah, they probably will. Close quarters. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Cool. So you can play this very much on the go if you have enough terrain, and you don't need huge sprawling tables or floor space to play it. Excellent. We'll see about the I don't know. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember what the size of the board is. The mini cardboard mats. The Blasted Hallow Heart, we measured it, is slightly under 6 by 4, so I don't know about that. Tactics. So you have new mechanical tactics, which are like stratagems, that bring additional depth to the game and allow you to represent the heroic deeds of your dudes. You have 1 command point a turn to spend, just like Age of Sigmar, so they've sort of toned down the command point spamminess of 40k. You just have 1 command point a turn. You'll have to act decisively, saving them for a key reroll, or using these stratagems. So there's a few given here. Decisive shot, you can shoot first for 2 command points. Tactical reroll, reroll, an advanced roll, charge roll, psychic test, so psychic powers is going to be a thing. Deny the witch roll, hit roll, wound roll, saving throw, injury roll, so that mechanic from Shadow War seems to be back, or a nerve test. So nerve is kind of like bravery and leadership. We'll see how that one works in the game. So we have injury again, which is going to be interesting because that's going to be, yeah, I'll see how that one pans out, I think. Yeah, it does sound like they're backing it like Shadespire. The Shadespire rule team have been brought in on this, so hopefully they do give it the backing that Shadespire got, because that was the problem Shadow War had. It just wasn't supported from head office, so it was just like a quick release, died. At least that's how it felt to me, although I've been told it did better in other places. Missions, you have missions of subterfuge, assassination, and sabotage. Planting bombs, slaying VIPs, sabotaging supply lines, a far cry from pitched battles of Warhammer 40,000. So there's 2 missions here in narrative play, disrupting supply lines and ambushing. So you can very briefly see, I'm not going to zoom in because they probably won't be a very good image quality, but there's a couple of missions there that you can have a look at if you like that sort of thing. And it shows they are going to do a lot of flavourful things, so I'm going to go for it. If I don't play it, talk to folks who do, it's a good game. Yeah, it looks like a really good game and it's well supported. Just, again, I haven't played it, so I don't know how well it's done. Multiplayer, it's 1v1, or you can have it as up to 4-player games. That's going to be nice and fun. If I can attest to anything, multiplayer games are fun. Complicated, but fun. Open narrative match, so 3 ways to play. So you can do balanced, fast-paced, competitive combat with match play. Narrative allows you to do campaigns. And if you just want to test something out, go with open play. So plenty of fun stuff hidden in there. Oh, yeah, Rogue Trade is going to be in Kill Team, isn't it? I've heard that. Ongoing support. This is just the beginning. It is a fully fledged Warhammer system supported for years to come with rules, models, and expansions, not to mention tournaments, store tournaments, and independent events. You can get started that there will be continued support for your hobby. So yeah, they're going to back this like they backed Shadespire, and that's a good thing. Kill Team, the boxed set. So you get a box set, which is a lot of things. A lot of things. Looks like it's going to be Skitari versus Genius of the Cults. So you've got the full Kill Team core manual, a getting started booklet, a full squad of Skitari. So you can build a unit using the Kill Team in this set, or make your own. So much easier with alternating activation. Yeah, possibly. We'll see. Genius of the Cult Acolytes. The double-sided folding card game board, a very set of Imperial Ruins, pre-filled data cards, booklets looking at the background of the kill teams in the set so they'll have some narrative behind them, and a deck to keep track of the universal tactics in kill team, your tactics cards for those armies, including options you won't find anywhere else. So, hey, buy our box game, you get unique stuff, yay. So it looks like there's going to be plenty of fun stuff hidden in here. Hopefully there's going to be enough. Oh, there's 10 things. There's one more thing in here. Assuming it's just dice. Dice and rulers. Yeah, dice and rulers. So that's cool. Nice core set of rules. And a couple of armies to get you started. Perfect. The core manual, which for some reason has Raven Guard on the front. As well as being available in the box set, you'll be able to pick this up separately, because of course you have to. Great if you're intending to split the set or want to get stuck in but have plenty of scenery and miniatures already. Complete guide, telling all the rules to assemble kill teams, pick your specialists, and fight anything from quick open play to deep narrative campaigns. Data sheets, tactics, and rules for all 16 factions in the game so far. They're going to add more. missions for every type of play, generation tables for your lore, and much, much more. Excellent. Kill zones, this is your terrain stuff. You'll also find rules for diving for cover, unique data sheets with death traps, tunnel networks, and all sorts of other terrain rules. So, could get complicated to keep track of everything, but does sound fun. To make the most of the terrain, we're making it simple and ever to collect with a brand new type of expansion called Kill Zones. One-stop shop for scenery, each in a double-sided board, a full set of terrain, and unique tactics, all for less than getting everything separately. Wow, sarcasm much. I mean, I know I was sarcastic, but wow, sarcasm much. So, unique terrain box sets with boards. So, if you're someone who plays like really small scale games anyway, like 500 points of 40k, you just get a game board for free. And if you're playing, some of the boards might work for AoS if you put a Blasted Heart terrain on them, so you could play games like that on them. I don't know, there's some pretty fun stuff you could do with that. I'm quite on board with this. Sector mechanic is getting pushed again, nice. It's a fully fledged expansion with a range of unique rules content. So sector mechanics will feel completely different to a death world or a spaceship. So spaceship terrain, that's going to be fun. Kill team mains at a sector Imperialis, and you can also get sector mechanicus at launch. Looks like that's what you're going to get a board. You're going to get all the terrain pieces and data cards, some extra stuff. Let's see. 8 frames of terrain, booklets for lore, art and photography exploring the role, some tactics, some unique missions designed specifically for the terrain, that's good, an environment card, and the game board itself. So you have plenty of variety should you invest in the kill zones or own the terrain already to have a lot of varied and fun games. Hopefully, that's the idea. Like I said, we haven't seen how this plays yet, so it sounds like though they are really going to go customizable. So I'm very much on board with that. I actually don't mind the terrain boxes. I did want to try the 750 point campaign thing GW released when they did the original mini cardboard board called Moonbase Alpha. Fair enough, makes sense. The plasma pipes. I think they're Prometheum, aren't they? I don't know. Ship fighting maps and scenery. Yeah, agreed. So there's a couple of starter boxes for Kill Team, which are just a way to get going very, very quickly. Specially selected models, new rules, custom tokens, and terrain to bolster your collection, all at a lower price than picking up all the content separately. You can use it as a pre-made Kill Team or a starting point for one of your own. So, for example, they give you an Orc one, which is a squad of Burner Boys. I mean, I agree I want Burner Boys in my Kill Team, but interesting choice to start with. Fair enough. But you can build them as looters. So if looters are in Kill Team as well, you can have some heavy weapons, some special weapons, and some flamers straight out the gate, which is pretty good. So the Orc box comes with 5 Burner Boys in coloured plastic, rather like the endless spells of Age of Sigmar, a booklet for their background, custom tokens with Orky stylings, because of course, 12 Orc Tactics cards, including 6 unique ones for the set, a set of Sector Mechanicus Galvanic Servo Haulers, plus an environment card for using them in your game, so you get terrain with your army. That's pretty cool. And pre-filled data cards for a pre-built Kill Team. Nice. And there's a Space Wolf one they showed off as well. Yeah, Commandos would have made sense, but Commandos don't have a plastic kit. That's why. Commandos don't have a plastic kit. You've been looking at everybody with experience. At launch, you'll be able to be Krog School's Boys or the Foundries of Ulfric, a Space Wolf one, a starting point for any Adeptus Astartes player, because you get 5 Space Wolves. Though I think you just make them into attack marines as well. So yeah, that works. And they come with some terrain of their own. So you're getting terrain and your units. So if you're actually someone who just plays regular 40k and need more terrain for your games, you can just buy these guys, get small squads of dudes and some terrain. And then the option to play them in Kill Team should you choose to. That's quite cool. I'm on board with that. I like that. The best terrain ever. So it's new Sector Imperialis terrain, designed by the team who made Sector Mechanicus, and 100% compatible because, of course, So new ruins for the Administratum, the Basilicanum, the Sanctum, and the ruins in general. And I must say, I can only really see what's on the screen here, but they do look pretty. That's pretty cool. I'm on board with that. Nice. Oh, the hook gun. That could be so useful if they word it correctly. Every single section is exceptionally detailed. Compatible with every other, allowing to put anything from low-lying ruins to close firefights. Fine, cool, spiel. And there's a bit of a closer look at some of the terrain. It does look really good in Imperial and Gothic. I'm very much on board. It does look great. Looking awesome is one thing. More salts. They're specific to work with modern 140,000. Each piece has practical cover. So you can easily fit dreadnoughts and stuff within the new upscale buildings. Flooring sections and doorways and balconies perfect for models with larger bases, whether you're rappelling in with a squad of reavers or skittering across walkways. Lovely. Nice spacious terrain. That's a good thing. Must say, that looks pretty awesome. Gotta say, that looks awesome. Recreate Holy Terror itself on your tabletop. Terror's not that ruined, mate, but good try. Finally, accessories. No, you can't use a Titan. Get in the bin. So you've got carry case, so baby baby carry cases. That's kind of fun. Match your dice with custom dice and D10s. So D10s. People who like not D6s, you've got D10s. Have fun. Orky dice, yay. Even a unique kill team tape measure with kill team iconography. Yes, there's a dude with a knife, there's a skull with a knife in his mouth instead of the Aquila. Cool. Blank data card so you can write up or whatever your war gear, which is probably quite nice. And these are the factions. There was questions earlier. These are the factions. Space Marines, Death Watch, Grey Knights, Guard, Mechanicus, Chaos Marines, Death Guard, Thousand Suns, Craft Worlds, Drukhari, Harlequins, Necrons, Orcs, Tau, Tyranids, Genestealer cults. So far. There will be more. They have said there will be more. Each of these factions is a specifically chosen pool of units designed to represent the kind of forces you'd find in a kill team, as well as unique tactics they can wield. We'll be previewing every faction in the run-up to the release with a series on Warhammer Community, starting with the Adeptus Mechanicus tomorrow. And they've got a PDF document, which unfortunately I'm not going to go through here. You will go and look at that for yourselves if you are that fussed. Well then, that's Kill Team. 16 factions so far, skirmish games, unique terrain rules, rule sets for terrain that come with the models for the terrain, with the models for the game, which is kind of nice. Terrain box sets that come with their own boards, that's kind of nice. And lots of other fun stuff. No Inquisition yet. We'll see what they do with the Inquisition, because the Sororitas will be added in when they get their plastics range later in the year, or maybe in next year. We will see what happens with the Inquisition, but for now, admittedly, they're not in the game. We'll have to see how that one pans out. Yeah, Road Traders. We've seen that Road Traders are it's pretty much been confirmed by leaks that we are going to get road traders. That's fair. But we'll see. And yeah, I guess everyone does expect the Inquisition for once. Well, everyone does expect the Imperial Inquisition, unlike the Spanish one. Yeah, I suppose you have a point on that one. So, any further comments on Kill Team? Looking forward to it. Gonna buy it. Gonna see how it goes. Give it a test game. I do worry for people who don't have a lot of terrain initially, that they're just gonna be like, oh, I don't have enough terrain. I can't play this yet. So hopefully they will be tempted by the box sets to get some terrain. And that will help them, because more terrain against a 40k is generally considered to be a good thing. Having enough terrain on the board is generally considered to be good. So hopefully that's a good step in the right direction. We'll see how it pans out. But what do you think? I hope we're going to see Road Traders as an actual playable faction at some point. For Kill Team, yeah, we will. For 40k itself, hard to know. Because they're so random that they fit Kill Team, but I don't know how well they'll fit into the main game, especially because they won't have a huge unit roster. They don't generally have, well, they sometimes have armies go with them, but not loads. Actually, while you guys have a little talk about Kill Team, I'm going to go get a very quick half a glass to drink. So I'll be back presently. See you in a minute. And we're back. So, found my drink now, got myself caught up, had a chocolate digestive for the first time in about 7 months. I'm happy. So, what are we saying? What do you think about the new 40k horror series? I'm not good with horror. Horror movies and me are not friends. I'm not one of those run and hide behind the settee during a film horror people. I just don't like them. You might notice I don't like Slanesh because it's just creepy, and that sort of creepy horror doesn't suit me. The Dark Eldar style, the creepy horror, doesn't suit me. Atmospheric, I don't know. It really depends. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a fantastic idea, but I don't know if it's really aimed for me as a reader. But that's fine. I think it's a great idea, and I hope it goes well, because people have been saying, oh, they're desensitizing everything, oh, they're toning it down, oh, they're making it kid friendly. No, they're not. They're going a little bit in that direction, and then a little bit in that direction too, by sending it off the creepy deep end. Oh boy. That could make lore research unfun. That could make lore research very unfun. But hey, what can you do? Q&A tease new factions, if I remember correctly, so maybe Arbitrates and such. Ooh, that would be fun. That would be kind of fun. Yeah, I like that. Like I say, I don't really do horror as a thing. So, I don't play horror games, I don't watch horror films, I don't really read horror books. Like, horror as a genre and me, I don't really engage with it, if I'm honest. Which is not something I engage with, so, I don't know. I really don't know what I can say to that. But it seems like they are going down the psychological horror type route. Like guardsmen recounting the tales and they can no longer recall what's real. That sort of horror is what they've talked about in the reveal article. So I think there will be some very fun and scary things. We'll see. I think it's a really cool idea, and I think it's great for 40k. And AoS is starting to get darker and darker and darker as well. The Stormcast are getting darker. Some of the things that have been said in the Stormcast Battle Tome, which is out this weekend, so people got their hands on it early because people have been able to say that it is really getting quite grim at times, and Sigmar is turning almost tyrannical. So they're able to do those creepy things. So yeah, I'm down. I'm very down. Astral Claws. Yeah, you could do something fun with that if you're allowed to take Tech Marines or Apothecaries, something like that. Yeah, Velthax was he both or was he just an Apothecary? He was definitely an Apothecary. I can't quite remember all the details. I know it's been ages. Yeah, Night Kill Team's not a thing. Been that. I think Annandale's involved, Josh Reynolds is involved, Ian St. Martin's involved, I think Phil Kelly might be involved. They've got a good team working on it, they really do. Not a fan of scary because you take it out of the environment that's boosting the fear factor, they just become bland. Maybe. Hard to say. I think that if it's badly written, then yes, but if it's well written, it's just creepy no matter what. Master of the Forge. Was he? I could have sworn he was an apothecary. Okay. My bad. I don't know if he's going to quite be the AoS Emperor, because obviously he's still up and about and all of that stuff. But, I don't think he's quite going to Emperor levels, because he is a god and he knows it. So it'll be interesting to see. Very interesting. He wants what's right, but he knows that disorder leads to chaos. It's not corruption, it's disorder that's the problem. I have not played Betrayal of Kelp or the Burning or Prospero Burns because I did all the Space Marines as Thousand Suns, and I sold off the Custodes, the Sisters of Silence, and Gygor Fellhand. So I never played the missions from my Prospero box set, and I didn't buy Kelp, so no, I didn't. Or no, I haven't, I should say. Why did you do that? Given everything that Alpha and Rem said about it on the podcast, why did you do that? Alright. On thy head be it. On thy head be it. Or on thy sanity, I should say. Yeah, I'm sure that the Calvin Prospero board games were good, but all I can say is I didn't play them, so I can't say how good they were. That's all I can really say. Like, I'm sure they were quite good, but I didn't play them. The Chaos God of Order. I get what you're saying. I guess some people will play them, but most people do just buy them for the models. Fair enough. It's cool. I hope you do get it. I hope it works out for you. Let me have a bit of a read on Sigmar, see if I can get out the core book about Sigmar, and I'll try and clear up any questions. Must go. Well, it's been good seeing you. Good coming out. Thank you for making it. See you in a bit. Actually, let's have a read about Azir. If I go read about Azir, that will hopefully clarify exactly where we're at. Azir. Of course, the domain explored. Sigmar's tolerance for lawbreakers is famously low. Through lawlessness comes disorder, and that way lies chaos. It was not always this way, for Sigmar originally hailed from a tribe of barbarians who fought, lived, and loved as they pleased. But with uncounted billions of souls looking to him for salvation, his methods have become ever more extreme. Long ago, in allowing people from every realm to seek haven in Azir, he also allowed an influx of hidden chaos agents to infect his city. Matters came to a head and he descended in wrath, not only slaying every citizen who bore the mark of chaos, but destroying all those who harboured hatred in their hearts. It was a statement of intent that few could ignore. There you go. I suppose I get what you're saying now. I'm just cross lap with the book open. To be fair, people want me to do a reading about some history. I'm very, very down to do some history or faction lore reading out of this book, and we'll just do an evening with Tactica Imperialis. I'm so down to do that. I'm so down to do that if people would like. Morbid curiosity. Oh dear, rip your sanity. So how's that? I get what you're saying. I do. I get it. I get the idea of why you're saying that Sigmar sounds like the Emperor. And there are definitely similarities. There have to be. Like, there was always going to be similarities between the two. Like, duh. But I think they have to keep them distinct because Sigmar, whilst he is extreme, it's not who he is. The Emperor was always the way the Emperor was. This Sigmar sounds like the Imperium today, with a splash of the Emperor of the past. It kind of sounds like it sounded like the old Emperor, but the old Emperor, like the really old Emperor, like pre-Crusade Emperor, was a lot like this too. Like, he was all about progress and driving back chaos. Has always been his thing. So this Sigmar is turning into the 30k Emperor, but in his heart, he's not the same. He's a warrior king. He's a barbarian. He's not this. This isn't him. So I get what you're saying, but there are still some differences. Do it with Remnants on Child. The problem is, because I'm sat the way I am, I wouldn't be able to hear him. Because the way the headphones would have to be on the microphone it's all the way over there. So I have to completely change my setup on my sound. I put my microphone over here and be leaned sort of like this, with my earphones like this, to try and actually make it work. So, apologies. But, yeah, I get it. It would be good. It would be good banter to do it for 40k. And Remlace has been doing some AoS reading, so we're unsure if we're going to put AoS into the podcast. So I might mention it tomorrow. If people want AoS into the podcast, let us know. And we can sort of start to work in like release news and maybe some lore discussion if we want, or if you want. Of course, Remnants has got the biggest subscriber base than I do. But if people shout loud enough and don't get shouted down, we can try it. We can try it and work it in, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't know if he doesn't like it. I think he just realizes he has no choice. It's kind of, he has to not be who he is, because to be who he is what cost him before. He's a warrior. He is a warrior. He's not a diplomat. The people suited to leading the Pantheon of Order are your Light Elves, your Tyrians, your Teclises, and your Tyrian and Teclis. Malerian you want on your council. You want Alariel. You want Grungni. You want Sigmar to be there as your marshal. Not your king, your marshal, who can lead your forces in war. So, in our history, we see people that gain power through non-standard means trying to block others from gaining power the same way. With Biggie knowing the future was doing it as well, that seems like it's a two-part message. I'll let the second part come through before I finish that and answer that. Well, I feel that's a two-parter. I don't know if it is a two-parter. What? So we testing? I'm confused. I'm confused. Oi. be fair, I might just have a read, because I've not actually finished reading the core book yet. I've only read up to the realms. So I've not read about each of the factions yet, and I've not really fully read about the realms, so in truth, I'm miles off being ready. So we'd be learning together if people didn't own this book. So we see the people that gain power through non-standard means try to block others from gaining power the same way. So climb their way to the top and cut off the way they did it, right? With Biggie knowing the future was doing it as well, that he would be stopping others from taking the God King route. So basically by becoming the way he is, he knew that no one would be able to replace him? Is that what you're implying? Not like a warrior judge rather than a king. Yeah, he was a warlord. He's a barbarian warlord. That's who he is. At his core, he's a warrior, a warlord, but with a strong sense of order. And that's it. That's what he is. He's a warrior judge is a great way of summing up Sigma, I think. He's not a politician. He's a good planner in war, but in terms of politics, diplomacy, not a chance. He'd lose to everybody in matters of deception and politicking. He's managed to peeve off about 90% of the gods he's worked with, so... Show that Imprisoned Slanesh picture. Sure, let me just mark my page. I'm just reading about Gur, and Gur's fascinating. The Realm of Beasts is fascinating. Age of Myth. That's the Slanesh picture. I know there's a little bit of glare, but that's the Slanesh picture. It's such a good piece of artwork. It's an amazing piece of artwork. Gotta say. Also, we got to see Malerion. Again. Yeah. Sigmar is lawful good to a fault. Kind of, yeah. Like, he is super about order, lawful good, yeah. Well, that depends on what became of Karl Franz, because Karl Franz is broadly rumoured to be the Celestant Prime. So it might be that he separated that Karl Franz aspect of himself out and put it into the Celestant Prime. We don't know. So we don't know, but maybe Karl Franz's humanity or his shrewd diplomacy had an effect. It's hard to know. Without deification, no other human could conquer the galaxy. Possibly. Really would have to think about that one. Maybe drop that in a podcast question sometime and think it through. Drop it in a podcast question in as clear a way as you can, and we'll try and discuss it on a podcast sometime. Yeah, the Karl Franz being the Celestin Prime is a common theory. It's not proven, but it is a common theory, and it's one that I think it makes sense for Karl Franz to be the Celestin Prime, though we can't prove it. Sounds good. Appears that in fantasy, humans didn't have a developed religion prior to Sigmar. For Sigmar, they had Ulrich. They also had Mor, Morr, who was the god of sort of their god of the dead. So there was Sigmar, there was Mor, there was Ulrich as well. I don't know all the. My Empire lore is exceptionally rusty, so I'm not sure. In all truth, but I get what you're saying about organized religion. There certainly wasn't the same organized religion. But to be fair, Sigmar founded the Empire, and the Empire adopted its religion. It may well have been that there were primal tribes that all worshipped different gods, but they were destroyed by chaos, or they just were faded out as Sigmar rose to prominence. We don't know. Etc. That is my reaction to that. Cetra is the new Vulcan, and I disapprove. Interesting. Sigmar was a follower of Ulrich. Was he? That makes sense. That makes sense as to why Ulrich was still noted in Imperial history, in the Empire's history. That makes sense. That does make sense. I get that. I like that. Makes sense to me. Did you hear about the God of the Forgotten? Yes, I read that story. The Stormcaster went looking for this god who had survived from Nagash but accidentally led Nagash to him. Yeah, I remember that. The rest of the Empire Pantheon at the time he was alive. Source the book about his early life. Cool, thank you. Could Sanguinius return as the Primarch of the Legion of the Damned? Leave Sanguinius dead, please. That's my answer. Leave him dead. That makes sense. Cetra will be a meme as long as AoS is a thing. I know. Doesn't mean I have to like it. Okay, that matches up. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Right, Citadel, yep. Yep. Crystalline Labyrinth. Yep. Nurgle's Manse. Sinesh's realm is kind of falling apart, but it's still kind of fine. So it's not the same as it used to be. It's kind of decaying into like past faded glories, crumbling palaces. Wow, that's cool. Right, factions. No problem. Thank you for coming out. Sorry, I know I'm being an absolutely terrible streamer because I'm just sat here reading. I'm not even like talking with the chat. Followers of Ulrich were the second largest religious group in the Empire as he was worshipped in the northern electoral counts. Yes, Middenheim and such. Most soldiers also venerated him as their patron deity. Yeah, those the Knights of the White Wolf is what comes to mind. What? Oh yeah, Slanesh person. Backtrack. Okay. The Palace of Slanesh was once a six-fold realm of uninhibited glories and unbound pleasure, though beneath its glamorous facade, doom and vileness have long lurked. Since Sledge's capture by Tyrion and Teclis, this realm has fallen into faded glory, its once dazzling palaces now derelict and crumbling. None truly know whether this realm will dwindle to nothing or flourish once more should Slanesh's followers succeed in their long and rapturous quest. All is known is that Slanesh's minions, his demons and his worshippers will never rest until the Dark Prince sits on his rightful throne once more. I am back in England, yes. Happily so. It probably will. I don't know if they're going to break Slanesh out this edition, but they'll certainly give it a go. Great Horn Rat. Slanesh must win. Probably the 6th of June, because 6. This is true. There was a Nurgle champion seized up by Sigmar and reforged into a Stormcast. That's true. Sigvald is not named. There is a Lord of Chaos that uses his miniature, but he is not named as an actual unit in the game. No, I'm afraid. No. I've played 5 games, and there are 2 bat reps coming next week, and they're good. The first one, not sure. It's a good game, but I don't know about it. The second one, I'm doing a double upload this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Tuesday's game was so much fun. So much fun. And I'm going to get a 3rd bat rep done this weekend at the very least. I might even get a 4th bat rep. So the next couple of weeks, we're covered on AoS 2 bat reps. There's going to be plenty of games. See, I've played plenty, and I'm really enjoying it, I've got to say. Sigmar might have died in the end times, actually. I don't know my end times lore well enough. Big Slanesh release in 2106. I'll be 110 if I get that far. Not excessive enough. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, fair point. We do need more Slanesh just to balance up with Khorne's Ancient Nurgle. We do. Just to balance up. For fairness. Nurgle his champions too much, so they lived. Just gave them a different backstory. Fair enough. Blame Manfred. Yep, Manfred's a dick. So it's our new kill team. We talked about kill team earlier in the stream about an hour ago. Basically, it's a squad based. Well, it's not squad based. It's 5 or 10 man army game with a board that's about a quarter of a full size gaming board with terrain rules, lots of customization, skill trees, all sorts of things like that. I suggest you just go read the article because I'm able to remember it all. But it looks generally quite fun. I don't know how much I'd play it because I don't have loads of terrain, but it does look pretty fun. I will say. You'll need a fair bit of terrain to play it though, I suspect. But they are doing new terrain box sets to try and compensate for that. Oh dear, we're making Slanesh puns. Okay, so the Stormcast are all human. That's fair enough. And it just means yay. Oh dear. I think I used up my monthly quotient for memes yesterday, so I'm kind of not in the most memey mood. I used up my monthly tolerance of memes. There's a little bit of information about how you create a Stormcast. That's cool. Oh boy, now what have I started? Dear oh dear oh dear. United with the Heraldry of their Stormers, renamed after their reforging. Few wish to relinquish their former identity entirely. Keep their former cultures alive. Good, yeah, I like that. Makes sense. Are the character deaths in the end times? Everyone! Literally, everyone died. It was the end times. Did you not get the memo? Everything died. Literally everything. Yeah, some became gods, and some were brought back. Yeah. The Slan left, bear in mind. The Slan weren't there, they left. Marathi was consumed by Slanesh and crawled her way out. Based on the end times, you've got piles of named corpses that all happen in the same paragraph. Yeah. The end times was basically we have to kill everybody, but we don't want to leave anybody out. So, lots of mass murder. I think we've seen that artwork before. That we have. Fire Slayers, Caradron, Sylvaneth. We don't count the toads. Seraphon, the Free Peoples, and that covers the Free Peoples covers everybody basically. Ding 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 ding. The Forces of Order. It's just some. Oh, there's no. Oh no, there's some Dragonblades there, some Fire Slayers there. There's some Eldritch Council back there. That's almost entirely Stormcast game. But fair enough, have it your way. Stormcast and Sylvaneth. Anybody else? Nope. Caradron, Fire Slayer, Seraphon. Are the new additions points changes on Wall Scroll Builder? I don't know. The app has been updated, but they should be, but I can't prove it. They should have been, but I can't prove it. Oh, actually, I do want to read about the various elven factions, just to keep me caught up. Eldritch Council, more learned still than the Village Arcane. Comprised of Azerite elves that have been brought together by Tyrion, tutored by Teclis, given a solemn duty to keep their traditions alive. They represent millennia of arcane knowledge distilled into a living body of adepts. They study all the traditional elemental forces of the elves to hurl forth frost, flame, and gale. Some go accompanied by swordmaster escorts, elven scholars with the blades so skilled they can cut arrows from the sky. Others use the most charismatic, form lasting bonds with the draconic denizens of Azir. These brave Drake Seers ride towards Serpentine dragons, the flame of their spells mingling with the red heat of their mount's breath with every pass. Those sites that are so corrupted by chaos that even the spilt blood of the devoted of Sigmar cannot heal them are visited by the Eldritch Council. They wield such intense and searing flame that most sites bearing demonic take can be burned clean, the created earth rendered sterile enough to be reconsecrated once cooled. Yet even then, in some cases, they are so supernaturally twisted that only the flames of resurrection can hope to heal them. And that's where the phoenixes come in. Oh, everything makes sense! Oh yes! Everything makes sense. There's nothing on the Light Elves and the Shadow Elves of Tyrion and Valyrian. This is just the Free Peoples. These are the factions for Order that exist already. Nothing new. Commander is killed by Sigmar in the end times. Ha! See, why am I holding this page? I'll just mark the page. I have a bookmark. Phoenix is a symbol for the elves, symbolising rebirth and fires of tragedy and the ability to emerge all the stronger. Temple bears its image is a warrior conclave dedicated to the god beast known as the Earth Phoenix. These monastic elven warriors have been through the fiercest fire of war, have survived. They have been born, scarred and traumatized by silent They've been born, with an E, scarred and traumatized by silent guardians of the shroud atop the temple. There, should they prove themselves worthy, each will be chosen by one of the giant supernatural phoenixes that make that spire their home. Burned body and spirit by a flame-inspired phoenix, or frozen to inert crystal by a frost heart, he will rise again after his days-long trial. From that point on, this warrior is Phoenix Guard, claimed by the magic of his resurrection to serve the cause of his temple, to eradicate the filth of chaos from the realms until his final death. In complete unnerving silence, the ranks march forth across fouled lands to cut down the champions of chaos with shimmering halberds, the magic of the Earth Phoenix protecting them from the return blows of the enemies. Overhead, the skies are scored by the glowing flights of Phoenix Riders, blazing orange and brilliant blue, burning and freezing all that fall under their shadows. Ooh. No, the High Elves are dead. The Light Elves are the elves that will be created by Tyrion. They're the equivalent to the Daughters of Cain for Tyrion and Teclis. Marathi has got the Daughters of Cain. Malerion will get what we're terming the Shadow Elves, and Tyrion and Teclis will get what we're terming the Light Elves. We don't call them. I call them Shadow Elves to distinguish them from the Dark Elves of yesteryear, if that helps. Lion Rangers. Warrior Brotherhood traced to the rangers that hunted the mountains around Azarheim in the Age of Myth. They are masters of close quarters battle. While the Azarite cities rose high, these elves sought sanctuaries of their monasteries, retreating to wooded islands and mountain peaks far from the din and confusion of civilization. But even there, they were not beyond the reach of chaos. Their order held out until the very last against the tides of disorder that battered their once peaceful domains. And when the gates of Azir closed, only the barest handful made it back to Azarheim. Now, with their order bolstered by the rise of Sigmar, they bring skills long honed to the war once more. They do not linger long in the free cities. Walls and fortresses failed them so utterly in the past, and so they prefer to roam the realms and their natural places. They carry war axes so sharp that can cleave an armoured enemy in twain, and their cloaks, the pelts of celestial lions, can turn aside crossbow bolts as if they were little more than pine needles. Led by veteran commanders in chariots pulled by graceful leonine beasts, the Lion Rangers have turned the tide of many a battle thought lost, for although these expert warriors often arrive unbidden, they always make an impact. That's cool. That's very cool. For a faction with 2 units. Order Draconis. Some of those elves united in the Sigmar and Azarheim found solace not in men nor in their fellows, but in the beasts of the realms. Forming powerful kinships with pure-blooded stallions and wise drakes, they became the forefathers of an order of warriors known as the Order Draconis. Dozens of generations have passed since the first elf knights of the order took up their lances and hunted the scourge of chaos. But though they were deadly warriors indeed, the task they undertook was all but impossible. Ultimately, they were forced to rely on their speed and bravery more than skill at arms to survive. Now, as a new era breaks across the land, they are able to take the offensive once more. They follow the roiling thunderstorms that signify the presence of Sigmar's elite hosts, knowing that to strike alongside such allies is to give themselves the best possible chance of securing a lasting victory at the least cost in blood. The Lion Rangers are the White Lions of Praise, yes. The Lion Rangers basically are. So they've become monastic rangers, if that makes any sense at all. Because it says they're a warrior brotherhood, monasteries in the woods, that sort of thing. That's their gimmick, if that makes sense. The Draconis was the Dragon Prince of the Phoenix Temple, the Phoenix Guard, the Eldritch Council, Swordmasters and Dragon Mages, and Archmages. Swiftwalk agents spread messages between the armies of Azerheim to coordinate their assaults, whilst cutting the web of information that binds the armies of their foes. The fastest and most nimble of Sigmar's elven hosts, and fearless in their duty. Capable and independent, able to outrun those they cannot slay. Amongst their number are cloaked shadow warriors that swathe themselves in darkness, and chariots pulled by fleet-footed, purebred steeds and giant swift-feather hawks. They are the messengers of order, and as the light of Azir reaches all the mortal realms, so too do their warriors roam to every corner of civilization and beyond. Swiftwalk agents are a fun little faction. They've got Shadow Warriors, Sea Guard, Illyrian Reavers, seems like Tyrannok Chariots are in there now. They've got the Griffin, they've got the Sky Cutters. They're a really fun little faction. I don't like them so much because I've used them and they kind of sucked, but they are kind of cool. I like them. Raiders and pirates, the Scourge privateers are not merely expert mariners, but also amongst the finest beast hunters in the mortal realms. Descended from those elves who sought the solace of the open seas, not becoming one with them as did the Ironnet Deepkin. Oh. The Phoenix King's extreme personal bodyguards a bunch of rangers. Well, yeah, but there's no such thing as a Phoenix King. There's no such thing as a Phoenix King. Keep that in mind. Not becoming one with the seas did the Ironnet, but learning to sail and master them. They honed their skills in navigation and reaving, their majestic vessels cutting through even the most stormy seas to fall upon their quarry without warning. While once the Scourge privateers might have raided indiscriminately, since Sigmar united the civilized races, they work alongside the nations of Human, Duarden and Elf rather than preying upon them. It is their habit to hunt down misshapen monsters and deadly creatures to capture, whether at sea, in the case of the Caradis, or on land, where their chariots and corsairs work together to run to ground even the fiercest prey. These beasts they train for their own menageries and prize collections, to sell to the arenas of the free cities, or to barter with wizards and warlords of an unscrupulous nature. Their fleet masters are steel-willed and determined, feared both aboard their armadas and across the ports in which they ply their trade, for everyone is an expert swordsman, and each has a ruthless streak as wide as a shark's smile. Cool. Very cool. There is something deeply sinister about the elven subcultures known as the Darkling Covens. They exist in the most remote and shadowy districts of the free cities, allied to the hosts of Azerheim through necessity rather than design, and none truly know what manner of malfeasance might happen behind their high walls. The rank and file of each Darkling Coven acts in uncanny synchronicity, almost as if they are bound to a single will in the manner of an undead horde. And that is not too far from the truth. Each coven has at its heart the sorceress of such charisma she can enthrall hundreds of her own kin. The mightiest of their kind can even bind dragons to their service. Whether this is done through means fair or foul, none can say. Certainly the lesser foot soldiers of the Darkling Covens are utterly devoted to their mistresses and will fight to the last drop of blood to earn her favour. It is whispered in the free cities that it is not only elves in the thrall of these darkly beautiful sorceresses, yet they fight against chaos, and for now, that is enough. The path of the Estalia, Cathay. Yeah, I don't know the end times well enough to comment on it, so I'm just reading, and you guys, I'm reading out loud to catch you up on some lore. But I'll probably wrap it up soon and retire to get some food, and then I'll jump in the Discord. That's probably what I'll do. The path of the assassin has a long and proud history amongst the elf nations. The free peoples look down on the profession as the remit of thugs and murderers, but the elves see the grace and beauty in the art of taking a life swiftly and silently. A skilled elf assassin is thought given form, appearing but for the barest flicker of an eye before receding into darkness once more, their target breathing their last in a pool of their own blood. Shadowblades are the true masters of murder. Some say they can change their faces the better to move through cities whilst hidden in plain sight. Others believe they are beings native to Orgu, the servants of some ancient tenebrous god that can move from one shadow to another as equally as passing through a door. Still more claim they are a gift from Malerian to Sigmar, for they turn their blades against the tyrants of chaos and those city-dwelling traitors that do their bidding more often than any other foe. All that is known for sure is that when a sorcerer's black mark in the shape of a curved blade appears on a target's flesh, it will not be long before a shadow blade's dagger is at his throat. Kalador could also return an interesting same thing happened to him as Morathi. They could get Kalador's soul out. Yeah, they could. But Kalador will be like right at the bottom of the pile, I suspect. And if he's a god, then rather like Cain, he's probably been shattered into pieces. So you have to find a fragment of his stuff to be able to resurrect him. It's kind of different with the gods. If Kalador counts as a god. I don't think he does. Like a dark reflection of their Order Draconis kin, the Order Serpentis tame the cruel-hearted and savage beasts of the realms. They are not so much trusted allies of the Azerite hosts as they are living weapons, pointed and loosed at the enemy as an archer might fire an arrow. Once they were an order of black dragon riders, but now with such majestic steeds dwindling in number, only their leaders can uphold this tradition. The majority ride the saurian predators known as drakespawn or elsteel chariots pulled by a pair of the scaled and cold-blooded beasts. They are relentless in battle, ripping apart their enemies in a storm of dark steel and wicked lances. Those that are harried by the order will be struck anew each night until there is nothing left but terror, confusion, and corpses. Cool. Cool. I just wanted to do that just to catch myself up on what the elf factions are going to look like. So, it's 9 o'clock. I haven't eaten yet, so I am going to wrap this up, call it a stream, and then get some food, and then I'll join you all guys in the Discord if you happen to be a member. So, thank you very much for coming out to the stream. We had a kill team preview and some talk about AoS as we went along, which was always good fun. And I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. 40k Stories is out on Saturday. It's a pair of champions of Championship Humanity. I do hope you join us for that. And then we have a triple upload coming on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Battle Report for Age of Sigmar, special Battle Report for Age of Sigmar, and then Adeptus Podcasters with a rather unique guest. So, I do really hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you all for coming out. I know it's been a while since I've streamed, and I know I've been off the channel for a week or so, but it's good to be back, and it's good to be talking with you guys, and I will see you all very, very soon. This has been Tactica Imperialis, and this has been a live stream. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.